and live Veracruz, the state that has it all. The state of Veracruz is destined for greatness and progress. In this territory, the cradle of three of the most important Mesoamerican cultures, the Olmeca, Totonac, and the Huasteca, there are the resources, talent, and the opportunities for energetic, leading-edge development. Come and live Veracruz, the state that has it all. Veracruz, privileged by nature. The state of Veracruz is situated on the Gulf of Mexico and covers an area of almost 73,000 square kilometers, 45,360 square miles. It has a privileged geographic location, creating a bridge between the United States, Central America, and South America. In the same way, it unites the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans by the Isthmus of Tehuantepec, bonding with Europe and the Asian Pacific. Veracruz is one of the most naturally rich regions of the world, with tremendous biodiversity. Possessing 745 kilometers of coastline, 463 miles, more than 40 rivers, countless lagoons, as well as waterfalls, reefs, tropical forests, temperate and frigid zones, and snow-capped mountains. Veracruz features 35% of the total hydrologic resources of Mexico. The most important natural reserves are the Tuxtlas Biosphere and the national parks of Cañón Rio Blanco, the Cofre de Perote, the Veracruz Reef Systems, and the Peak of Orizaba. Veracruz, from grandness and history. Veracruz's past stands majestically through its pyramids, the rituals of ancestors, and on-site museums. El Tajín, Zempoala, Quihuitztlan, Tres Zapotes, and the hundreds of other archaeological sites surrounded by the magic and mysticism of pre-Hispanic Mexico. The first city hall on the American continent was established in the territory of Veracruz when the Spaniard Hernán Cortés and his crew disembarked to found the Villa de la Veracruz in 1519. Veracruz signified the point of entry to the New World. The colonial heritage and decisive contributions to different stages in the history of independent Mexico, the Reform and the Revolution, are part of the legacy which we observe today with historic monuments. Through folklore, gastronomy, crafts, traditions, the fusion of dance and music with Spanish instruments, emphasizing principally the joy of our people, expressed in more than 286 festivals throughout the state. Veracruz, of cities filled with youth. With 7.2 million inhabitants, the great majority being young people, Veracruz ranks as the third most populated entity in Mexico and is divided into 212 municipalities. Cities such as Coatzacoalcos, Minatitlan, Veracruz, Boca del Rio, Jalapa, Córdoba, Orizaba, Poza Rica, Tuxpan, and Martinez de la Torre are the most important regional points for commerce, tourism services, and manufacturing. There is solid support in the educational and technological development of Veracruz. In more than 97 high-level technical institutes, both private and public, which prepare and train the professionals our development demands. Veracruz, strategic for Mexico's growth. Veracruz shines for its robust economy and wide diversity. It is ranked 6th in the national economy. Veracruz is known at the national level for its generation of electricity, petroleum and natural gas production, petrochemical refineries, heavy industry, and port logistics services, which are the sectors undergoing the most growth and receiving the most investment in the country. Veracruz offers opportunities for establishing a wide variety of crops and derivatives for the development of agro-industry. It is the nation's leader in the production of sugarcane, rice, oranges, pineapples, Persian limes, vanilla, as well as being ranked 2nd overall for coffee and tobacco. 15 processing and packing plants and 22 sugar processing facilities, which contribute 40% of the nation's sweets production, can be counted on. In the forestry sector, Veracruz has more than 209,000 hectares of forest and 1.2 million hectares of jungle. The southern zone of the state offers opportunities for the production of cellulose and related industries. Veracruz is the leading cattle producer in the country. An availability of 116,000 hectares of coastal lagoons, resources that offer possibilities for fishing and aquaculture. Commercial business is one of the most important economic activities in the state. Currently, Veracruz features more than 87,000 commercial establishments, employing more than 300,000 people. In the environment of international business, Veracruz exports manufactured aluminum and steel-based products, petroleum, chemical products, plastics, textiles and clothing, coffee, citrus products, and processed foods, amongst others. Veracruz and its orderly industrial development means an area that is favorable for investment. Its potential is reaffirmed by the confidence shown through investments made by American, Spanish, Swiss, Canadian, Italian, and German businesses. Currently, Veracruz features 10 industrial parks, functioning successfully across the length and width of the state. The southeast of Mexico, the region where the state of Veracruz is located, is the country's principal producer of natural gas. Veracruz, tourist destination. Tourism is an activity of high priority for the government of the state of Veracruz, and it is considered to be one of the principal engines of economic development. An infrastructure of 5- and 4-star hotels offering 29,000 rooms reflects how Veracruz has been converted into an important center for conventions and business meetings. Its archaeological sites, colonial cities, festivals, its biodiversity, magical villages, nature trails, And above all, the warmth and hospitality of its people are the major attractions. With its natural scenic beauty, Veracruz means a tremendous offering for national and international film production. Veracruz is ranked first in ecotourism and adventure tourism. Veracruz, towards globalization. Veracruz is always prepared for development and competitiveness. We have more than 16,000 kilometers of highways and 500 kilometers of superhighways, 1,808 kilometers of rail lines. State of Veracruz is the principal maritime gateway for the entrance and exit of international goods. Its 4 ports, Tuxpan, Veracruz, Coatzacoalcos, and Pajaritos, handle together 120 million tons of cargo annually. The port of Veracruz is the most important in Mexico and moves 25% of general cargo loads and 45% of the container loads of the country. Veracruz is the leading producer of electrical energy in the country. Why invest in Veracruz? A privileged geographic location, optimum conditions for investment, a competitive and qualified labor force, a stable working environment, and efficient infrastructure. All of this makes for a peaceful and secure environment. For our investor friends, in Veracruz, Mexico, you will find stability, certainty, a future, and cordiality. We invite you to get to know this extraordinary and magical land. We like to define a Veracruzano as someone born here and someone who only just arrived here yesterday.